your American League Player of the Week. You have to be happy with what you're seeing from him. But I know back in May there was a couple of days where he was benched, and y'all were really working on some things. So what were those things, and have you seen? Where's the improvement been the most with him?
Well, Chris has been working hard ever since spring training started. I think being in the league now for the second year and getting some history with these pitchers, he's kind of figuring out how they're trying to get him out. And he's been doing a real good job of paying attention to the advance reports, and his work has been second to none. He comes in every day, he's got a great routine. His focus is different. He comes down there now not just to swing, he's swinging with a purpose. And I just can't be happier for him. And I knew it was coming. I wish it would have got here a little sooner. But for him, the perseverance that he had, and now he's showing you he's one of the best hitters, power hitters in baseball.
Take last night, for instance, just a tough 4 at-bats for him, the first 4 with the 4 strikeouts. How much has he improved in that aspect? What would have happened maybe earlier in the year compared to what happened last night, coming through with a big hit in that last at-bat?
Well, my assistant hitting coach is always teasing about wanting the 5th at-bat, and even after the 4th at-bat, he would say to him, hey, you're going to want this 5th at-bat. And, sometimes Chris missed a couple pitches in the zone, and then he started to get too antsy and started chasing out of the zone, which is what he's been doing really well recently, is not chasing. And he's been more patient. And then, the first couple of bats last night, he started expanding the zone. He missed a couple of hanging breaking balls that he should have hit. And he got a little frustrated. But he went back in, and, in between innings before his at-bat, since we have a cage here and he's a DH, I'm able to go in there and throw to him again and trying to prep him on who's coming in to face him. And he'll tell me what approach he's going to go with, and he sticks with it.
You guys been talking about shortening the swing. You've mentioned it a lot. Is that the biggest thing with him?
The biggest thing is shortening the swing, yeah. Getting him more direct to the ball, being able to stay behind the ball. And he's also doing a better job of sitting on pitches, where before he would just try to see it and hit it and try to hit every pitch. Now he's starting to pick out what pitches during the course of the at-bat that he's going to try to put in play. And I think that's been helping him handle more off-speed pitches earlier in the count.
You had Chris and his struggles earlier, and now it seems like John Singleton was in kind of a rut there for a while. But in his last couple of games, looked a little bit better. What are you working on with him? What are some of the things you need him to improve on?
Well, he's got as much raw power as anybody in the game. And when you watch him swing, a lot of times he'll overswing and he'll try to do too much. And they're pitching primarily away most of the time. And if he's trying to pull that ball and pull off of that ball, he's swinging and missing or rolling over and grounding out. So just trying to get him to understand to be easy, be loose and rhythmic, and just try to be on time and use the whole field. And if they're going to pitch him away, he's going to have to take what they're going to give him until he proves he can handle the ball that's out over the plate. So that's, trying to get him, and even George. George is, people think it's an all or nothing type swing. He just has so much bat speed and torque, and a lot of times when you watch his swing on tape, it's controlled through contact, but the finish is so big because there's so much speed and torque and whip going through the zone that the body has to decelerate the swing, so it always looks like it's the biggest swing you've ever seen in your life, when really his head's down, he's trying to be direct to the ball and stays through the ball with balance. But I think because both of those guys swing with such force that when they have to decelerate, their body kind of takes it and makes it look like it's out of control a lot.
Is that just going to be a constant battle with guys with that kind of swing as far as making sure they don't overswing? I mean, is that always going to be something they...
Yeah, and we practice not doing that, and we talk about it all the time. And it's, they're very aggressive people. And what you don't want to do is sacrifice power for accuracy in a sense until you get to 2 strikes. And if you look at the OPS with 2 strikes for either one of them or anybody in baseball, it falls off the map. So now it's like, okay, we can sacrifice hitting the ball 6,000 feet for putting the ball in play, and with the bat speed that you have, it's going to equate to you putting more balls in play with 2 strikes. And when you do that, all your numbers are going to go up and your OPS is going to go up, and the team's going to be successful because you're going to get the ball in play. And you look at with 2 strikes, the batted ball in play rates, the major league average is 178 with 2 strikes, but if you put the ball in play, you're going to hit 270 or 280. So convincing them of that, and they're starting to understand it now. And they're both young hitters, first time in the league, and there's adjustments to be made.
Altuve. And
amazing.
What has he just does it every night, but was there something coming in to start the year that you really wanted him to do? I know front foot positioning, something that people have been talking about.
We did a couple of things. He came in, he wanted to be more selective at the plate, which is important because you're only as good as the pitch you swing at, and trying to get him to stay more selective in the strike zone. And number 2 is he used to have an early stride to his toe, and he would reach out and then drift forward. Now he has we put a little leg kick in spring training, so now he does a little knee tuck, and it's helped his timing because when your foot's, ideally you don't want to put your foot on the ground until you're ready to swing, and that happens naturally. And when he got his foot down real early, and then when it was time to swing, he still had to get to a balanced position and still push forward and made his swing have some length behind him. And now he's got a little leg kick, and he's able to time out pitches better. So if he recognizes an off-speed pitch, it kind of stays off the ground a little longer. We recognize the fastball, his foot will get down, his back heel will get up, and he'll get into rotation. And I think that's helped a lot. Plus his work ethic's second to none.
Well, I was going to ask, at this point in the season, do you just kind of lay off a little bit of it? I mean, how does the relationship and the work ethic?
It never ends from there. We have the same routine we do every day, no matter if he's going good or bad. We take the same amount of swings. We have the same short pitch routine, and he goes in and watches, before he comes to see me, he goes in and watches the opposing pitcher. And there's the advanced reports in there. He puts his own eyes on him, then he looks at his history with the guy and sees how that guy got him out. And then he would come in and we would discuss an approach for that night, and then he'd sign off on it, and then he'd go out and play ball.
I just asked him, what you're doing is incredible, getting close to that 200 hit mark, but Jeter's did it 8 times. And it's, like you look at what Jeter's been able to do. What made Jeter such a tough out over the course of his career?
Well, he's got one of the best inside-out short swings in baseball. That's helped. And the person, the player he is and the competitor he is, and his drive to be the best, and Jose has that. And that's what's amazing to me is how much he cares about his teammates and how much he cares about the way he prepares himself and how much he wants to lead this team. And to do that, you got to show up every day. And he showed up every day. And I think Jeter shows up every day. And that's why, to me, you can compare them two offensively.